Okay, hello, Leah.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Leah and I have known each other for nearly 2 years now,
Mhm.
and we're talking about it. What feels like, at least for me, a different lifetime. I don't know if it feels like that for you as well, but it was
For
back,
sure.
yeah, back when I was a fitness coach in business mentorship, and Leah was actually my mentor back then. So it's exciting. We've both been through so much since then. And I'm really excited to have you on here. So, for anyone who doesn't know you yet, can you share a bit about who you are, the business that you've built, and where it's at today?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'm a HYROX coach, an industry leading female HYROX coach specifically. With that, obviously, I'm a HYROX athlete. And then, as well, aside from that, I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm like kind of doing a bit of like self discovery because obviously when we first met, like I'm very much was business focused, very much kind of like focused on growing the business, and I'm at the point now where it's like I need to find like fun again. Obviously, it's fun growing a business, but finding a little bit more of a creative side to it all because obviously I am a bit creative, and yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's so interesting. What do you mean by creative? Is that in the business or just something completely for yourself?
Combination of the two, like I love what I do. I love coaching. I love coaching the girls. I love helping the girls. I love seeing there's never an end product, which obviously me and you both know, like in any journey, whether it's self development, whether that is through fitness, like you are never going to be at the end point because there's always things to grow and evolve and doing. And that's why the journey is so incredible and beautiful because we're always learning. But aside from that, like for me, I've been very much creative all of my life. Like I have been academic. I've been very much like I'm very much one of them annoying people where I'm very good at like both the academic side but also very good at the creative side as well. And that creative kind of fun side of it all for me is very much like the part that died a little bit inside. But I'm like I'm missing that bit now where it's like, can I be more creative with content? Can I add my own flair? Because I feel like in a world where content is looking so similar and so samey, where can I put my spin on that? I think I do a good job of it anyway, but like, how can I make it look more fun? How can I edit things differently? How can I, even me, like how I dress and stuff? Like, one thing that I've stopped doing is wearing gym wear all the time
Mm,
because it is
yeah,
so easy to do that. But me as my higher self doesn't wear gym wear all the time. She dresses
yeah,
quite nice. Like she has style, she has fashion, like she's very like funky, edgy.
yeah.
So yeah, like moving in alignment basically.
Yeah. I love this because I find that I see it with a lot of my clients. You get to a point where, like, okay, your business is established, like, you've achieved a lot of the goals that you set out to achieve. And then it's like, okay, what's next? Like, not even for the business, but for yourself as well. Like, and especially you, I know you're like, you're very young. Like, people don't know that, but you're like in your mid 20s, I think, right? And
24.
you, yeah, 24, and you've achieved so much. And then it gets to a point where, like, okay, I've achieved these incredible milestones, but where do I fit in all of this? And like, what's next for
Mm,
me? And I love what you said about content as well. It's funny because it's not something that I even meant to talk about today, but it's something that I have myself really explored in the last few months because it's so easy. I feel like, first of all, in the fitness space, it's so easy to just like use AI, use ChatGPT to write your content.
mm,
Everything, like, especially in the fitness coaching space, everything looks super like polished and edited, and you get like videographers to do everything, and it almost feels like it loses a bit of the personal touch of who the person really is.
yeah.
And I felt that myself recently, and I've really been diving deep into this whole again, it's like woo woo, but like throat chakra activation and like, who am I and what do I really want to say in my content? Because, as you said, in a world where like all content kind of sounds the same and looks the same, especially with AI, it's so important to really activate your own voice and see and see what sets you apart. Because now it's already happening, but in 6 months' time, 12 months' time, I feel like 99% of businesses and coaches are going to sound exactly the same.
For sure.
And the businesses that are actually going to be able to like leap forward and create a movement are the ones that don't use AI, and actually like the business owner, the mentor, actually has their unique angle of on things that ChatGPT could just never.
Yeah.
So I absolutely agree. Have you been doing any work around that, or are you still in the like thought process around it?
It's very much like, I feel like it's like the integration bit where it's
Yeah.
like we're still trying to figure out what it is to then move in that direction.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like still trying to figure that out, but I'm not. I think it does get frustrating at times, but because of the work I've done mentally this last year with my mindset coach, it's been like a complete different shift where it's like I'm not in a rush to do things. Like I am in a
Yeah.
rush, but I'm not in a rush at the same time. And I
Yeah.
think when you're in that calm, relaxed state, that's when that where all the answers do come to you anyway.
Absolutely. Regulated nervous system. That's
Oh,
what it's all about.
God, who knew that was an actual
I know.
thing?
I know. I mean, that's like the bane of my existence, to be honest, because I
Yeah.
am so used to doing everything while having like 20 different things in my mind at the same time. And it's something that I'm still working through. But like, yeah, it makes such a big difference. Like, even when you just get yourself to focus on one thing at a time, it makes such a big difference. But yeah, I want to ask you more about the mindset work that you're
Mhm.
doing later. But first, I want to really go back to the business that you've built, because you've built a business and a brand that honestly most people could just dream of at the age of 24. Like most people your age, I feel like, are just trying to even figure out what they want to do. And I really want to know, how did it all start for you? What gave you the drive to take entrepreneurship so seriously at such a young age?
So it stems probably back to the root of when I was younger. Like we didn't necessarily have, we weren't like a well-off family. My mum was a single parent. Um, Pretty much grew up with my nan and granddad. Purely because of the circumstances my mum was in, because she was an alcoholic. My mum and like we got taken care of by my nan and granddad, which in all honesty we ended up having quite a privileged upbringing, but we never asked for anything. We'd always have to do things for ourselves, which I think probably is where the driver come from, of like just do it on your own. Like you're better doing it on your own, and you do it yourself anyway. But my nan was a very successful entrepreneur, like from a young age too. Like my nan didn't actually go to school; she made her own business, and it ended up being successful to the point where she did. So my nan was a florist, but she was that successful with flowers. She did the Queen's flowers and like Prince
Oh,
Diana.
wow.
Like, yeah,
Wow.
like she was a
Like
very
in your blood.
successful person. It's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Um, but to the in terms of like that side of things, like for me, I don't like to play by the rules.
Hmm.
Like my my future was going to be in fashion, and I didn't like my degrees in fashion. I got a first class honours degree in it, so I weren't bad at it. I
Yeah.
just weren't, with me, I weren't being fulfilled by it because it was very subjective to who was looking at your work at the time. And I don't like things not being black and white. Like I like creative, but I like data as well. Like, and I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what's give me the edge within the fitness industry, because I can be creative with things, but also I'm very much data and analytical informed when I make decisions. Like it's not
Yeah.
necessarily just to act on emotion and be like, oh, we'll do something and like that. Where I think a lot of creatives are very much will act on emotion and just see where it takes us. Um, so yeah, that's kind of like how I ended up in entrepreneurship, and I was just like, I just can't, I can't be told what to do. Like I can probably the most, I can work for someone, but I want to be better than the person I was working for.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And at what age did you start this business?
18. So I've been doing it for like 6 years. Well,
Yeah.
it was 19. So it was more 19, so like 5 years.
Hmm. Hmm. And can you talk us through how it was when it started compared to where it is now? Because I know you've grown it massively. And
Yeah.
yeah, it would be nice to hear and inspire our listeners.
So I started as a PT in person on the gym floor, very much focused on and always empowered. Like my kind of biggest value is empower women at whatever
Yeah.
level they are at, whatever stage they're at, whether they're advanced, whether they're a beginner. Like it was just always just focused on empowering women because I'd been surrounded by disempowered women growing
Mm.
up. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't want any woman to feel like that moving forward. And if I can have an impact, then I'll create an impact. So started in the gym floor, PT, was doing my fashion degree at the time. I started PTing in November. I was fully booked on the gym floor for capacity whilst doing a full time degree. So I had 25 clients by the time I got to January when I started in November. So I couldn't, like,
Yeah.
25 hours on the gym floor plus 4 hours of classes. I could not fit any more in at that
Yeah.
point. Um, then grew it to 40 clients on um, when I was leaving uni.
Mm.
Did that for 12 months. Then my mum passed away, and I was like, life's too short. I felt very much tied to the gym, and like the reason why I got into entrepreneurship is because I wanted freedom. Like I wanted to be able
Yeah.
to kind of travel the world, wanted to be able to do what I wanted on my schedule. And it's like, even though I loved the in-person PTing, it just wasn't serving me anymore, and that was absolutely fine. Moved online, started coaching online, different ball game to in person completely. So it's like learning communication skills. How can you communicate with people a lot better? Like, can you? It's very much like, can you pick up on people's energy and vibes
Mm.
from a message,
Yeah.
which is so different to be able to see someone like literally across from you. You can see the body language, you can see the facial expressions, you can see how the demeanor is, like everything. It's a complete different ball game. So I had to like relearn that. Was focusing a lot more on the HYROX space, and I went all in with HYROX in 2023. So I've been doing HYROX specifically for 3 years, been doing coaching for five. And yeah, the business has just grown from strength to strength. Got a coach working for me now. And yeah, we're
Wow.
just
Yeah.
on the upward trajectory.
Yeah, I love what you said about how the online coaching space is so different. I feel like I haven't heard that from other coaches, and it's so true, but it also shows how much you care compared to potentially other coaches, because this space, I mean, we know it's full of people who some care a lot, don't truly care about
Mm-hmm.
the clients, or are more focused, I would say, on the money they can make rather than the impact. And with you, it's always been clear, like from your messaging, from me knowing you, but also just seeing you on Instagram, how much you truly care about making an impact and empowering girls and women, as you said. And even just that small example of like, I want to know how you're feeling just from a message. I feel like that
Yeah.
really shows how much you care, and I love that. So a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs struggle to see themselves as the person who can truly hold big success. How have you built that level of identity and self-belief in yourself?
I feel like this is always something that I have to work on. Like,
Mhm.
it is one of them things where it's like, and it's like that. I like to think of it as like we're in a circle. Like, we'll have months where we're feeling like on top of the world, but then a few things will happen. It'll like rock, shake the boat, and it'll kind of test you and be like, how much do you really want to believe that? Like, how much do you really want to believe in yourself? How much do you really want to push yourself? And I will be the first person to hold my hands up and say, like, the last month or so, that's been me. Like, I've been
Mhm.
being really tested of like, how much do you actually believe yourself? How much do you want this? How much do you want to continue to grow? And the biggest thing that kind of helps me, like, kind of believe back in myself, is just that self reflection of like, look at what you actually have built. You can do this. And another thing that kind of helps, like, me kind of like gather my thoughts back and like re-believe in myself is just actually asking myself, like, how much do you want this? And like, understand that this is where people quit. Like, this is the bit where people are getting stuck, where people are getting frustrated, where they're feeling like that friction, that kind of anxiety of like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? This is the edge to grow. So lean into the discomfort and know what can you learn from this situation, rather than thinking, oh my god, like this is against me. And like, have a different lens on that. And I think if I hadn't have done like the mindset work, I would not be in that position now.
Yeah. So what role does mindset and manifestation play in your journey? Can you give us an example of some
All of it.
rituals, practices, ways of thinking? Yeah.
All of it. Every single bit of what I've kind of, I don't know, like when I'm I'm very, very intuitive. I'm very, very kind of, when I'm on that vibrational level and when I'm on that level of alignment, I attract everything, like
Mhm.
absolutely everything. And it is a vibrational state. Like you have to be on that vibration or else you're not going to attract what you want and then you're going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
So one of the things that helped me get onto like the vibration of like what I want in terms of manifestation is like you've got to sometimes fake it till you make it. So like actually become the identity that you want to be. That's like been the biggest thing for me. The second thing is if I am not feeling my best self, breath work, the best thing I could ever do to kind of just recenter myself. Also, as well, athletically too, like breath work before any like heavy, hard run sessions.
Hmm.
Absolute game changer because that nervous system's regulated. So you're
Yeah.
not going to go into panic as much when your heart rate's higher. And it's exactly the same. So, like, breath work and then like not obviously you manifest, but like visualization of where you want to
Hmm.
be, but meditation alongside that so you can actually feel the feeling rather than
Yeah.
just being like, this is what I want, this is what I hope I want. You get to just choose when you do create that feeling. And I think one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that they can unlock that feeling at any point they choose to unlock it. Like it's a choice, like you can choose
Yeah.
how you feel. And it's sometimes a little bit of a harsh truth to people when they are in a bit of a victim state, or like even when we're not feeling our best, it's a bit hard to be like, oh, I'm actually choosing to feel like
Yes.
this, when
Yeah.
the truth is actually you can choose to feel the opposite too. It's just how you come around from that is what will determine how you move forward.
Yeah. I love that. I have to take some notes because I have so many things I want to ask you. As a follow-up to that, I want to ask you about visualization and I want to
Yes.
ask you about potential imposter syndrome. Um, but I just want to first comment on the part about that you said that you just talked about when it comes to choosing, because I find that it's so, as you say, it's so hard. Like even for someone, who's built a massive business, there's always that part that's like, sometimes you can feel, as you said, you've just had a month when you felt a bit down or you've been doubting yourself and your goals. And I find with manifestation, it's really that simple. Sometimes it's really just about choosing who you want to be and just like putting it out there to the universe as well, like with big things and small things. Like I remember, when was it? Like just 2 nights ago, I was saying to myself, so my, as you know, I have a toddler, and sometimes he sleeps amazingly. Sometimes he like will wake up multiple times a night, and I was exhausted. So I was like, I choose to sleep well tonight. I
Mm-hmm.
choose to wake up rested for the gym tomorrow. And I choose to have a great day with him tomorrow. And I literally just said it out loud. And that's what happened. Like sometimes it's just all it takes is for you to own it and to realize that it really is just your choice. Put it out there. And as I was saying it, I was visualizing that as well. So when I wake up like ridiculously early, like at 4:20 in the morning.
Yeah,
I
I
jumped
know, I
out of bed
remember.
because I I visualized the night before how I would just wake up feeling energized, which kind of has didn't really happen for the week before. I was like exhausted. So it really just is all choice. But I want to talk to you about visualization because this is something that a lot of athletes do in general. So I'm curious how you integrate visualization both in your business and in your HYROX races. Do you ever visualize how the race is going to go or how your training is going to go?
Yeah, like on a day-to-day basis. So like
Yeah.
before any race, for minimum 4 weeks before that race,
Mhm.
I will religiously visualize how that race will plan out, how I'll feel at each point. If something goes wrong, I'll literally visualize at different points where things could go wrong in that race.
Yeah.
So my body knows how to handle it.
Yeah.
Because if it knows how to handle it, I'm actually fully in control. For an example, World Championships in Chicago in June, I got to that start line and I never ever normally feel calm. Like
Mhm.
I had no butterflies. My heart rate was quite low. Like I was like the biggest race of my athletic career was that day, and there was no doubt. There was no like worry. There was literally nothing. And I actually got to the start line and I asked my friend, I was like, I think something's wrong with me because normally I feel a bit shaken up at this point. And I was actually looking around at the girls who I was racing with, and I knew a few of them, and they was all panicking and worrying, and I was like, "What is wrong with me?" I was like, "What is wrong with me?" And that's like when I knew the visualization had done its work
Yeah.
of being like calm, collected, like if anyone's done a HYROX before, you know you've got laps to count and stuff like that. That first lap, I couldn't even remember how many laps I'd done. But then I saw everyone else going in. I was like, oh, right, I'm going to have to go in then. And then I was panicking. But I didn't panic. I was like, right, it is what it is. Like, just breathe through it. You're fine. You've got it. I went the wrong way in, like, this, like where the stations are in the rock zone in HYROX. Did I panic? A little bit. But then I was like, no, you're in full control. The sleds, everyone was having a nightmare with the sleds in HYROX. Did I? No, I actually the one thing that I turned around to say to myself was like, one thing I am not going to struggle with in this race is these sleds.
Yeah.
I went into the sleds 10th and I come out third.
Wow.
Like,
That's incredible.
like
Yeah.
I said, I weren't going to do it, and I didn't do
Yeah.
it. I also
Yeah.
another thing that happened as well. Obviously, when you travel over to that side of the world, jet lag.
Hmm.
Everyone was coming back complaining about jet lag.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not coming back and having jet lag. Did I have jet lag? No, I didn't.
See, the
So
power of
like
choice. You choose.
the power of choice, the power of things that you do and the power of things that you do visualize for yourself
Yeah.
is so strong, especially when you feel for me, I don't know about you, but like I always feel like a really strong, energetic pull from like the heart center whenever I
Hmm.
manifest anything, and I know it's aligned when that
Yeah.
feeling's there. Um, so whenever that feeling's there, like I know I'm safe, I know I'm in good hands,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I love that. No, I think visualization is, again, it's something that so many athletes do, and they've done studies about, you know, athletes who visualize before big games, and then the games just end up happening as they visualize. And that's why I laugh when sometimes people make out manifestation to be like this woo-woo thing, because it's
No, it's an actual
literally like,
thing.
yeah,
The science.
it's scientific. So it's the visualization. Like I always say, like anyone who manifests anything, just spend even 2 minutes a day visualizing. And the way I like to do it, by the way, is with a phone call. So personally, for me, it's like
Okay.
when I visualize like big milestones. Like for example, I passed my PhD Viva, like my final exam, a month ago. So for about 4 weeks before, I was manifesting passing it like with ease, because a lot of people would like kind of pass by having to make like a major revision. So take 6 months, 12 months after that exam. And I was like, I want to pass either with like no revisions, which is really rare, or with very, very minor ones that will take me like a few hours. So for 4 weeks before, every single day, I'm very close to my grandma. So every single day I visualized FaceTiming her and screaming. And I would literally, I would not only visualize, I would put my phone in front of my face and like scream and tell her like, I passed, I only have a few minor revisions. And when I actually made that phone call after the Viva, it felt so surreal because I literally had made that fake phone call every single day for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So, or like, and it could be with anything. It could be with reaching your first 10K months, and 10K months, and you call your partner, your best friend, whatever, and you tell them about it and you're all excited, or whatever it is. I just find that there's just so much power to it, and that is something that is scientific. Like you visualize and it happens. Do you use that in business as well, or not so much with business milestones and goals?
When I first started, I used to.
Yeah.
Um, but because like the one thing that I kind of needed to believe in myself more with was the sporting side of things.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of shifted the focus.
Yeah.
However, now I'm in a place where it's like I want the balance of both. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like now merging both them goals of being like one of the big things that everyone says you can't have one or the other. Like you can't have a successful business and you can't be a successful athlete.
Yeah.
Me being the person that I am, I don't like to play by the rules. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to break
Mm-hmm.
that kind of belief for people. So it's like, I want to prove that thing to myself as well, that I can have both. So, like, my
Mm-hmm.
visualization now moving forward is kind of that focus of, right, how does that look in my day to day life of having a successful business? that is growing, but then also as well having a successful athletic career too. It's like
Yeah.
what needs to happen, what needs to change, what the things do I need to let go when I get into this next chapter of life? Because I feel like it has been one or the other at
Yeah.
this up until this point. So it's like, how can we do the two?
Yeah, I love that. I agree. And if we go back to imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
is that something that you still experience sometimes in business or in your athletic career?
Honestly, no,
Mm-hmm.
because I think you need to be in the rooms that you feel uncomfortable in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see it as like an imposter syndrome thing, because I see it in a different viewpoint now of being like, if I'm in that room, whether that is I am in that room as one of the best, or I am being in that room to become that.
Yeah.
Hence why World Championships this year, normally imposter syndrome would be out, like my head would have completely gone. But
Yeah.
because I visualized it, I actually felt like I belonged there. And I think visualization can play a massive part of
Yeah.
you eradicating imposter syndrome.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that because I think, and this is something that again I learned because I struggled in business for a long time. Like my business
Mm-hmm.
did not pick up for a long time, especially when I was like a fitness coach. And there's a few reasons for that. It also clearly wasn't in alignment with what I truly wanted to do and what my soul wanted to do. So now I'm very grateful that like despite everything that I did, it never picked up to the level
Yeah.
that I wanted it to. But I think a big thing is really just stepping out of that imposter syndrome and not outsourcing your power. So stopping to outsource your power. I feel like there is a lot that the business world, a lot of people have mentors, which is totally fine. I believe in mentors and I believe in coaches. But what I see often is just thinking that the other person just knows so much better than you, or like you
Mm-hmm.
are you don't belong in that space with those people. But like maybe you could be in a business mastermind or whatever, but if you feel like you don't truly belong there, that manifestation, that quantum leap, that business growth is not actually going to happen. You have to get yourself to believe that you are the shit. Like even if you don't have the proof for it, like as you said, fake it till you make it. And that's just so true. And that's something that it took me a long time to learn, but once I learned it, things just shifted so quickly. Once I learned that, one second, yes, I can learn from mentors and coaches, but also I can be the person who makes up their own methods and teaches other people that. Like I can be the person
Mm-hmm.
who decides that they're the person that other people listen to now. And when you truly just make that shift, and it's not easy, but when you make that shift, everything changes for you. Like the business changes, the growth, everything just happens suddenly. And that's kind of the quantum leap in a sense. But people think that quantum leap is just something that happens like overnight. You decide that you want it, and then the next day you have it. I have this metaphor that it's almost like water turning into ice. So if you imagine like it's 30 degrees outside and you put water outside and it gets to winter and the temperatures get colder and colder and colder. And then suddenly, once the temperatures hit zero, the water will turn to ice. But there was all that prep work in advance. So that's how I see quantum leaps. And what other people see as like overnight success is really just you doing all of the inner work for a long time until you finally reach that tipping point, and then everything changes for you. And I
Yeah.
find that, yeah, a lot of it is really that mindset work of like getting yourself to believe that you are truly the best at what you do. And you don't need to like outsource your power and constantly learn from other people and think that everyone just knows better than you. So we talked about you having moments of fear, of self doubt. I know a lot of business owners, and I don't know if this applies to you, but have worries about money, about get where they're going to get more clients from, or like will things work out? Do you have those, or did you experience them in the past, and how do you move through them?
No, this is something that I'm learning still.
Hmm.
With not having a lot of financial stability growing up, money kind of it was very much one of the reasons why I become an entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, like I don't want to rely on anyone for like producing my income. Like
Yeah,
even I remember when I was younger and I used to kind of get paid by people when I was working jobs and stuff, I always used to be like, if my money hadn't gone in when it said it was going to go into my bank account, I would freak the hell out. I was like, I'm not going to get paid. I've done all of this work for nothing.
yeah,
Like I would really, really, really spiral. And my relationship with money has got a lot better. However, there is still room for it to grow, and I always think it will do. And I don't think it's unsolvable, but there's definitely work to do on that point, and it's not worrying necessarily about not getting clients, because I know if I go into a DM, I know I can probably sign up a client within a few hours.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the issue for me. It is the worry of, I don't even know, because I do take risks. It's one of them things that I worry about, even though I've absolutely no need to worry about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I need to
Yeah.
get over the worrying about it when there's actually no need to worry about it, because it takes enjoyment out of actually earning it,
Yeah.
spending it, doing whatever I want with it. Because yeah, there's that worry of
Is that of
having it
like
and losing it.
losing it? Yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah,
say because I am very similar to this. Like I had a lot of financial instability growing up. Like my parents had like a house without a mortgage or anything, and then my dad was kind of a gambling addict, and he remortgaged our house, and we ended up losing it when I was 11 or 12. So we went from a place where I had this like stability. We had a house, we had two cars, to over the span of a few months losing the house, losing both cars, having to move into my dad's parents' house. They were dead, so there was like a deserted house somewhere in the middle of
yeah,
nowhere that we had to move into. And I've realized, and this is work that I'm going through as well. Like the money thing is like for me the biggest block. And I realized that for a few years now, I have this fear of like, okay, I'm making this money, but what if it goes away? What if it goes away? And I've actually
mm,
manifested situations where suddenly the money did go away with like unexpected things because that's what I kept worrying about. So one practice that sounds counterintuitive that I've been doing is actually almost creating like a T chart of all the negative and all the positive things of that happening. Because when you emotionally, I wouldn't say detached, but you get neutral about it emotionally, it's less likely to manifest. So instead of like worrying, oh, what if all this money is gonna like disappear and go away? Let's make a teacher, and for every negative that that situation would cause, let's find a positive. So for me, I have this like,
mm,
irrational fear, which not really irrational when you think about my past of like us losing our house. We bought our house
yeah,
5 years ago, and I always have this fear of like, what if suddenly we can't afford a mortgage and we have to like move out of the house? So different things I've been thinking about is like, actually it would be kind of nice to live in like a nice little flat. Like I kind of miss that coziness of being in a flat, or like living in a house is comfortable with a toddler, but also I love a view. So again, it would be nice to move into a flat. So I do all these things, and then you just get yourself to a point where like you're not worried about it anymore because you know that even like in worst case scenario, you will still be okay. So
yeah.
again, that's counterintuitive to a lot of like manifestation advice. It's always like only focus on the
The
positive.
positive.
I don't believe in that personally. I don't think that works, and I
No.
think it leads a lot of people to spiral. But is there any specific work that you're doing now around that? Maybe with your mindset coach, or just some rituals or practices that you're doing?
Again, because I'm quite data and like analytical,
Hmm.
I'll go over my spreadsheets for the
Hmm.
month of being
Yeah,
like, this is what's coming in. Yeah, it's not in there yet, but like, you've got
yeah,
enough to cover your bills, you've got enough to cover staff, you've got enough to cover everything with a little bit left over. Like, realistically, if you don't make any more money or you do lose some money, like, it's not the end of the world. Like,
yeah,
it really isn't. Um, but I quite like that idea of like writing out all the bad that could happen, but then also as well, like, what's the positive, and like,
yeah. Just neutralizing
yeah,
yourself. Once you're neutral, it's just like it can't hurt you. So,
yeah, no,
yeah, yeah. And so you mentioned having a mindset coach. Is that a coach that you see regularly? Do you do any work that you can tell us about? Anything that
yeah.
maybe in particular something that you felt like led you to a breakthrough in business?
I feel like it's been a bit of a snowball effect. I did work with her up until March this year, and kind of just put all the things, like the tools and stuff that we put into practice. A lot of it was emotional processing work that we did. So like understanding the emotion, understanding where the emotion come from, understanding how we can integrate that and give it compassion and love rather than just shutting it down. A lot of mine comes from my inner child.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
it's my inner child that can run the show at times. It's
Yeah.
not ever another part. It always is the inner child in me.
Yeah.
Um, and how can we lovingly bring little Leah on this journey with us, but also show her that it is safe to take a few risks. It is safe to kind of push boundaries, to not be by the rules, but also do it in a way that is actually going to push and challenge us to that next level. And also, as well, understand it's all right to be uncomfortable. Like with me, I'm very much been a perfectionist all my life. I've wanted everything to be perfect. Even when I've not enjoyed things, hence my degree, I still got a first because I wanted it to be perfect. If I weren't leaving uni without a first, then what have I done for the last 3 years? Even though I've not enjoyed the degree one little bit, but I needed to finish it and I needed it to be a first, or else I'm
Yeah.
accepting nothing less. So like kind of working with that perfectionism, working with the inner child, and making sure that like understanding life isn't perfect and it's all right and it's safe for you to kind of fall off the rails a little bit, because you can get yourself back on the rails. Like just because you're having a few bad days or a bad month or whatever, you could even have a bad few years, but you can always get back off the rut. And you, again, you have the choice to change that or to stay where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's so interesting how with everything it's always our inner child just running the show. Like our subconscious
Oh
mind is
yeah.
like 95% of our life. And it always goes back to between the ages of like 0 and 7. And it can be ridiculous things as well, like ridiculous quote unquote, but like it could be once your parent telling you that they're busy because they're working and you internalizing this feeling of I'm not important enough for people to pay attention to me. And that can literally be the subconscious wound that runs your entire identity for
Mm,
years. It's kind of crazy, but once you become aware of it and you work with it and you bring, as I say, you bring your inner child up to the surface and you explain to them that it is safe and it is okay. Yeah, that's when those leaps happen and that growth happens. So yeah, so that's really important. Has there ever been a specific time in your business when you felt like growth, like your business growth kind of really slowed down or things didn't go the way that you expected? Can you recall a specific time and how did you navigate that?
I would always say like, and I hate saying it, but like for me, after the end of the HYROX season, which is June, things do go quiet. Like they
Mhm.
don't necessarily go quiet because the serious athletes do want to take action, they do want to get coaching and things like that. But like it always is quiet for me between July and August. Like
Mhm.
it just is. Like, and
Yeah.
every single business will have seasons where they do go quiet around the year, and you only learn that when you've done it for a period of a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Something that I am still learning, because I have been doing like this for 5 years, but I've never necessarily took awareness to why
Mhm.
this is. And I'd say this is the year that kind of I am learning to deal with it, and I'm still learning to deal with it. And I would say like it's just understanding how people work more, if that makes sense. Like understanding how people's logic is when they come to buy in, and understanding them as a person as to why they're not taking action through
Mhm.
July and August. But then, as soon as I know, for example, next month we'll probably do a record breaking month. It's happened every single year for the last 4 years. It
Yeah.
just it's just how it is. However, July, August have been quieter months,
Mhm.
but I know that next month will be. I've got
Yeah.
the feeling. I've got the
Yeah.
feeling. The data doesn't lie from the last 5 years of coaching, last 3 years of being online, that September is always our record breaking month, and then we become an upward trajectory to then.
Mhm.
So, yeah, like,
Yeah, it's like embracing the seasons. And also, I think the
yeah.
main thing I'm hearing from you is not taking it personally. And I think, as you said, this is something that you learn after a few years. Because I don't know, maybe in your first year or second years, you were
Oh
like,
my God, we
what's
freaked
wrong with
out.
me? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Why am I not selling in July and August? But now
literally.
it's like, you know that this is just the season where things go quiet. And you also have deep knowing that September is going to be a record breaking month, which it's going to be because your beliefs really dictate everything, and also you have data to back it up, then that's, I think it's so important. It's something a lot of people don't talk about, is that there's things in business, and just like learn to, well, first of all, you learn it with time, but also learn not to take it personally. It's not about you, it's not about how good you are or how well you sell. It just like it always ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So yeah. I only have a couple more questions. Okay, so beyond the mindset and manifestation, what would you say have been the most important things that you've done, kind of strategy wise, to actually grow and scale your business?
Um, in terms of staffing wise, hire before you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of the main reasons is because if you hire before you're ready, you can teach and learn things to people. So when the time does come, then you have got like, they can just take over. Whereas if you're hiring from a state of, oh my God, I need someone, you're not in a place of want. So you end up attracting staff that
Yeah.
aren't necessarily always aligned, and you're second guessing, are they a
Yeah.
good fit? Are they not a good fit? Another thing with staff, I would always say, if something is on your mind, say it, and
Mm-hmm.
also as well, do it in a compassionate way. Like there's more to staff than just them doing the work. If something's not being done how you want it to be done, there tends to be a miscommunication, there tends to be a misunderstanding, or there's something potentially personally going on. Like nobody is a robot, and having that compassion and understanding as well will help you get most out of your staff. Because if you're being very brutal with people, you're kind of being like, well, this is wrong, you've done this not right, it just becomes a really toxic place to work. And
Yeah.
also as well, when you do it in that way, it helps enable problem solving for that staff member too. um because the biggest thing with mine is like, I was very much on creating codependency.
Mm.
As a leader, you can't be creating codependency for people,
Yeah.
because you still end up doing the work
Mm-hmm.
that what everyone else has been doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if as well someone's bringing that out in you, if it's something that you've wanted to kind of like eradicate within your life and how you've learned from it, then again, that person probably isn't at the right growth stage for you and the business.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that. I love
It's all
that
right.
insight. When you think about the bigger vision for you and your business and your athletic career, what excites you most about where you're headed?
I think it's because I don't know where I'm going.
Mm.
Like for me, my I achieve goals very fast.
Hmm.
And this is my issue, because I achieve big goals very fast. Like it's a blessing and a curse, because it's like we've got to kind of keep on thinking things to like keep on going and moving forward and be inspired and things like that. Like it's perfect for that. But it is exhausting as well at the same time. So it's like, for me, I have to have months of like dialing in and then pulling back and dialing in and pulling back. So for me, all of my goals are all based on like a 3 to 6 month basis. I can't
Mm.
visualize anything further than 3 to 6 months, because I know I've probably exceeded the goal that I actually set out to do anyway. Um, Not a bad place to be, I would have
No,
to
I love
say.
that.
But like, that is the beauty and the curse of being me. Like it is exciting, and I don't think I feel scared of it anymore. Like there will be parts that are scared, and the doubt creeps in, but at the same time, like it is exciting, because like I actually don't know where I'm going to be in the next 5, 10 years.
Yeah, I'm just embracing the unknown. I love it.
Literally.
I feel like a business owner, it's like you have to be willing to live with the unknown because you
Yeah,
really never know what
you
tomorrow is
really
gonna
don't know
bring.
what's going to. No,
Yeah, but I
no
love that
idea.
because it shows how deeply you're embodying that person. Like your identity is just so there to the point that you have such deep self belief, like you really know that you can achieve anything, and that's what happens for you. So I love that. So my final question is, what would you say to the business owner, the entrepreneur listening, who feels like they might be behind or not ready for the next level or have goals that they want to achieve, but they're kind of doubting themselves?
You've got to back yourself. Like, if you don't back yourself, no one is going to back you. Like, without even realizing like how you do your content, it won't come across confident. Why does anyone want to buy into you when you're not feeling confident in yourself and your abilities? Like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to. And even if you do put that out on social media and how you do market yourself, like, you'll attract low level clients, low energy, low vibrational clients. Do you really want that in your business? Probably not. So whether that is with fitness, whether that is mindset, whatever business that is, you'll attract the wrong types of people to the page, your content, etc., yourself, your business. It's like, do the work. Just do the work.
Yeah.
Like, you can't expect things to happen if you don't do work on yourself. And I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest piece of the puzzle to any business owner. Like, you need to do not even the fact that you need to, you have to want to do the work on yourself,
Mhm.
because you're not perfect, nobody else is perfect. We're not striving for perfection, we're striving for progression. And if you can have that progression and growth within you, then that is the biggest attribute you can have, because nothing will get in your way at that point. And if things don't go to plan, you'll be able to find a different way to get to that same goal if you've done that work.
Yeah, it all comes down to self-image. I had just a couple weeks ago a whole podcast episode about self-image. So whoever's listening, if you didn't listen, go back and
Go and
listen. But
listen.
really, just self-image, the way you see yourself and the way that you perceive other to see you, that's what it's all about. Like I find that any struggle that you have in life in anything at all, it comes down to how you see yourself and how much you believe in yourself. So thank you so much for this, Leah. This was so insightful and so fun. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you if you have anything coming up, where they can find you online, and how they can work with you?
Yeah, so if anyone's interested in learning a little bit more about what I do, my Instagram is Lhea.Terzaki, spelled Terzaki.
I'll put
And
links
then
in the show notes as well.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
got a funny few different spellings. And then if you want to find out a little bit more about coaching, there's actually a link in the bio. But also as well, we do have a High Life coaching page, which is highlife.coaching on Instagram. And then if you want to kind of learn a bit more about me as well, if you type in Lhea Terzaki on YouTube, you've got all that as well.
Yay. Thank you, Leah.
Perfect. Thank you so
Yay.
much for having me.